Hey guys, this is hopefully a fix for the black screen or dark screen bug that some of you are experiencing. Let's see if we can actually try something out here. So, most of the engine files that they have for actually updating the color and the brightness and everything for the game are actually in the extractable files that you can get from the game. So, if you go to your actual install directories, so if we go over here to our library, go to Dying Light 2, say open, browse to local files. Here you can see where my mod is installed. We'll go ahead and go into ph, go to source, go ahead and scroll down. If you don't have all these, lucky you. And here you'll find the data 0. And basically what I've done is I've set this up to where this will now automatically open with WinRare. You can do that WinRAR, WinRare by, going in there saying open with and then directing it at your archiver. Once you have that open, you just double click, you can open that up. And then once you're in here, you'll be able to go in under scripts and then under varlists. It is going to be one of these files that gets everything set back up at least. I apologize. I'm going to do this on the fly while I got you guys on the line because I think I actually might be in the wrong place here. Let me confirm something. Hopefully I've kept backups of this HD color mod because I found everything before. Let's see if I can find it again. HD. There we go. HD colors and settings. We open this up. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. So it's not into the var list folder, it's actually down below. So if we scroll all the way down in the data 0, we'll find the var list. So in here is actually where they have all the files for controlling the engine and setting up these different engine components. So for those of you that are experiencing darker screen, let's see what we can do here. So we're going to start with the varlist.scr. If you drag that out of WinRare, it'll drop it onto your desktop. You can open this file using Notepad++ or whatever fits. And we'll go ahead and scrub this over here. If we go down, what we're looking for is brightness. So let's see if I can go in here. So brightness didn't work. What if we say contrast? Here's image contrast, and you have two values for image contrast. Here's saturation. Here's actually where you can go in and actually change several things while you're here, while you're at it. Here's flashlight as well, so enjoy that. That may or may not work as they update these things. It sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But most of the time on the engine side, it does. So for example, here we have the image contrast. And then we also have this PP image contrast as well. Down here we have saturation. I'm not sure the difference between the PP and image. So what I would recommend is go ahead and just boost that contrast either way and just go in there and check. You might have to do a little bit of trial and error, but some of these other ones might actually be a better fit. So we didn't really, that one didn't have brightness. Let's go down here on the var list and go to game. We'll pull that one out. We open this one up, say open an editor. Let's do this again. We'll say bright, contrast. Oop, that's not contrast. Here's also another image contrast. And one of the ways that could actually make this a little bit faster, I'll show you another trick while we're here, just so that way. So if we take a folder, let's create a new folder, and let's just grab all of the var list files here. So we'll just go here and grab everything that says var list, and we'll drag it into that folder. If you have Sublime 3 installed on your system, there are several others that do that as well, but if you have Sublime 3, I'm a big fan of Sublime 3. If you open these up, you can see I have a million of these, but if we go into File, move this over so you can see okay. If we go into File, say Open Folder, let's go to our desktop, go to New Folder, say Select Folder, and it will then open up all these var lists. You can also do this in Notepad as well. Again, I just like Sublime. I think it's actually just the visuals here. But we can also then, once we have this listed and you see all these, you can hit find, say find in files, and just go ahead and type bright. So they only have one term that is actually determined brightness, so that one's not probably going to be it. If we go in here and say light, It's probably going to have all sorts of stuff. That's lightning, cluster lights. So potentially contrast will do the key. So with all of these, it might take some trial and error to figure out which one does it the best. But essentially, I don't have this issue on my system, and I cannot recommend keeping this solution. So if this is a temporary fix until they solve the problem on board or in house, then you can just delete this work. But essentially, the idea here is that you could go in here and find contrast. Long day, can't spell contrast. And then here are our three locations, not going to be the editor. So really it is going to be var list. It's going to be var list game. You can basically go in here and change those values to where, boost them up to where it's like blatantly obvious. Um, and I would recommend boosting first just because technically with contrast, it's going to sharpen it a little bit too much in the sense that it's going to make the colors really get intense. But what it might do, sometimes people call it contrast, even though it's not technically contrast, it's actually brightness. So play around with it. Let me know what you find. But basically, if you switch, and I'm just saying that's not actually correct. I'm just saying that I've seen before where it will be called contrast in the game engine, but it's not actually contrast. So if you make these changes, let's say we're back over in Notepad++, we make this change, we go back to contrast, wherever you are. Said, can't spell today. Okay. We find contrast, change its number, make sure that these are float values, so make sure you keep the decimal. So if you just want to add a 1, that's probably a good place to start. We'll go into this other one as well. We'll add a 1, and maybe even drop the saturation while we're here, because if that is actual contrast, it's going to pop like crazy. So we'll go ahead and drop the saturation a little bit. Also, if you want to play with the game black and white, you can actually just set this to any range to make it dark, grimy, whatever it is. You can actually achieve that pretty quickly by just setting these. Once you have these set up how you want them, all we need to do is go back to the source. So this is the source folder, which is going to be Dynamite2 ph source. In here, what I recommend is if you're playing with my mod, this will work even easier, but you can basically just duplicate my mod and then go in here and do a data4. And then basically we're just going to open this up and we're going to delete everything inside of it. So that will delete all of my mod. I have this file that I've created a long time ago. If I delete everything inside the zip, it will actually delete itself. Kind of annoying. So I have this placeholder file. It is actually just a text file that I've turned into a .file and changed to the name placeholder. So there's nothing in there. It's a useless thing, but it will make sure that you never accidentally delete your pack file because it will erase itself if you delete everything. Just a fun fact. So if we take these var lists and drag them into data4, you can call this data4, you can call it data2, you can call it whatever you want, but this is actually wrong. So hang on, messed up. We're missing something. It has to be in the values that it was, so it was actually in the scripts folder. So we need to put it in the scripts folder. So we will now have scripts, var list, and here's our brand new mod. So a little brand new mod here increases the contrast inside the game. Go ahead and hit launch. Go ahead and, sorry, it's taking a little bit longer to start here. We'll go ahead and hit next. You may immediately see a difference. Let's find out. Yeah, look at that. Crazy lighting. So actually probably the better way to do it is to actually downscale that contrast, but if we hit next, you'll see more of what I'm talking about here. These VAR lists are incredibly powerful, very interesting. You can do all sorts of things with them to create different visual effects inside the engine. Highly recommended if you're interested in just messing around with a couple of values to balance the game out and get the feel and look that you're going for. I was creating the optional update to go with I Am Legion as well. But it's just such an optional thing. You know, everybody has their preferences for what the game looks like. I'm probably going to put back out another update so that you guys have, you know, the one that I play with kind of thing. But you can see here now that the world is just incredibly dark. So, you know, absolutely nightmarish dark. Great if you like that. You know, I wouldn't recommend it. But if we go ahead and we'll just go ahead and kill the game. So we'll go ahead and stop. And we'll go back to our scripts folder. So that's where I had the two extracted files. I'll put them in scripts. We will go in here and open these back up. We'll say no. We will not keep them in the editor because I can't find them anymore. So let's go back. We'll search contrast. And this was at 0 before. And we went up to 1. So what we probably need to do is go in here and say like that. And then we'll go the other way with this. So if we undo the contrast, then we probably need to pop the saturation to balance that out. And this one as well, we will say -1. And then we can open our folder back up. So if we go back to our source folder, open data 4, drag in our scripts folder where we've saved those scripts that we've just updated, and we'll hit play again. And let's just see what shakes out. Close. Yeah, the color was a bit much. We'll go ahead and hit play. All right, and you can see here it is nighttime, but it is actually very bright. And so the difference between these two things is pretty night and day if you enjoy that type of humor. But basically, this could probably fix the issue that you're having. If the issue is that it's kind of doing some weird color grading or whatnot, you can also change that via the same script as I was changing the saturation. That should fix your problem. And so with this case, you know, obviously we popped the color a little bit too much. So we need to go back to the var list and probably drop that back down to like 0.2. And so, you know, this may or may not work. But hopefully this is a solution for you guys that are having a darker screen for whatever reason. I'm sure they'll put out a fix soon, but hopefully this will help get you back into the game. All right, thanks guys.